Okay, so in this case, what we're working on today is right here in the frame rail. So what these are for is for a vent tube, assuming that it was a later, say, post 1973 model Dart. At the time that this frame rail was replaced, that's all that was available. So in our case, this being a 1968 Dart, this hole and the corresponding one on the other side of the frame rail are unneeded. It's just going to sit as an empty hole. So not only is it unsightly, but there's no reason for it to sit like that. So if you're going to go ahead and fix something like this, you might as well go ahead and fix it. So what I'm going to do is just a bit of painter's tape. I take that, I go over top of our hole, like that, and I take my finger and I kind of work my way around it here. Just kind of burnish it in. Just like that. We get it to that point. And now what you're going to need is a marker, which I do not have in my hand apparently. Good to know. So we're going to take our marker, and what you're going to do is you're going to go along the inside edge of where you just went ahead and burnished all this down. And you're just going to kind of go like that. And I prefer to use a chisel tip marker for this. Just makes it a little easier. So with that, now we can peel our tape off. And what we have here is kind of an outline on the outside of the block here is the size of our patch we need. So now we can transfer it to a piece of steel. Okay, so what you're going to do now is a little bit of arts and crafts. Take your scissors and you're just going to cut this out the best you can. I prefer to use like the blue painter's tape or the green painter's tape as opposed to a piece of masking tape, because the masking tape is really sticky. So what I find is it's kind of a pain to cut without it sticking to the scissors, and next thing you know you tear it, or either way you end up back over making another template. Plus, honestly, you don't have to use masking tape for this. The stickiness of it is not the important part. And I find with having the house, we've always got painter's tape lying around somewhere here. From fixing something, painting something, you know, it's always here. Okay, so I take my piece of metal I'm going to use, and I try and lay this on here best I can, and I take my marker again, and what I'm going to do is just go ahead and go over top of it along that edge. Don't have to worry about being neat and tidy, that's for sure. You know, when I was a kid, my grandmother used to give me a bit of crap if I colored outside the lines, but this is one of the times when that doesn't matter. So, got it all colored in here. Now you can take your tape, peel it off, cut all this out. So, with it all cut out, that's what it looks like. Right? That's what our piece of tape told us we need. Now I'm doing it the easy way, just so I have something to hold on to. I just put a Cleco in there, but you could use a self-tapping screw if you don't have Clecos. That would work just the same. Because what you're going to do is you're just going to leave yourself a tiny little hole you just have to fill in later. So let's take it over the car and see how it looks. Okay. Back over at the car here, we have our patch, and as you can see, it just slips right in there now, and it leaves us a little gap so we can put a weld around it. That's all there is to it. Okay, so that's it welded in there. So our next step, we'll take and grind it down, which I'll save you the trouble of that. All I'm going to do is just use a flap disc. Just knock down the welds. And I can go around and do the other side the same way. And then I think we'll be laughing. Okay. Now with it ground down, that's what it looks like. See, it's pretty smooth here. We've gone ahead and eliminated it. Go ahead and we'll do the same thing on the other side, and that's all we have to do for this repair. So I'll leave it up to interpretation because everybody feels a little bit differently about it. But in my opinion, personally, replacing that whole frame rail just because that one little spot needed filled in because the frame rail was for a slightly different application, it's a waste. I could have got on the phone and called up and ordered an AMD left side A body frame rail for the rear of it, and we could have paid $1,000 for it, which, you know, between the cost of the metal itself and shipping and, well, currency exchange, taxes, duty, etc., it probably would have been pretty close to. Or I could spend the half an hour that it took me to go ahead and repair it. At the end of the day, unless it's a concours show car that needs to meet a 1,000-point judging system, you know, it's your decision to make. But if you have the time and the ability, personally, I don't see a reason not to fix sheet metal. Anyway, I hope that the video has been at least some help to somebody. That's the only reason I do this. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we see you again.